What's up, NFL fans? Welcome back to another episode of For Your Viewing Pleasure. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Wesley Coleman. Happy holidays, Wesley. How's it going?
Merry Christmas, man. It's going good. That was a fun week of football last week. I think that
Sheesh.
we got some more playoff picture stuff kind of in line. I think some of it's surprising, but it's been good.
Did we learn anything last week, in your opinion? I mean, you think about it, I think week 16 was wild in so many different ways, from Thursday night, the game between the Rams and the Seahawks, all the way through the ending to Detroit and Pittsburgh. Did you learn anything in particular?
Well, I mean, and then also, I mean, the Green Bay Chicago game too.
Absolutely, yeah.
There was some exciting stuff. I mean, obviously Tampa Bay and Carolina fought it out. Carolina kind of took the lead in that division there. I mean, Houston had a struggle that we didn't expect, but I mean, New England, Baltimore had a close game. I mean, those a lot. Those some fun games to watch. Not including the Tennessee Kansas City Chiefs game.
Yeah. Now we turn our attention to week 17, which, you know, with Christmas Day being a Thursday, the NFL's like, hey, we're rolling 3 straight games on Christmas Day. They start at 1 o'clock Eastern time. It's 1, 4:30, 8:15 Eastern time for these games. The first 2 games, 1 and 4:30, are on Netflix. The Thursday game is Thursday night, which is typically Prime Video. Let's start off with this slate, Wesley. It starts off Cowboys at Commanders. We said this last week, and I want to reiterate it for everyone out there. We knew, you can see what the schedule makers were hoping for. But man, they did not get it.
The 3-game Thursday and the 2-game Saturday, like, they had high hopes for how it was going to go, and they struck out on Christmas Day.
They did. But two out of 5 are good. But still, the 3 on Christmas Day, if you're someone that's like, I'm not watching football on Christmas, but you might not miss much. But what do you think about Cowboys Commanders? The Cowboys are spotting a touchdown, 7 points on the road.
I mean, it's a good, fun kind of intra-division game with 2 hated rivalries on a big holiday. I mean, Dallas is going to draw people to watch it for sure. Washington's rough right now without Jaden Daniels and just kind of looking lost. But I think that, people log in for the Dallas drama, seeing if CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens or somebody gets mad and throws a fit, or if the defense is terrible.
Let me ask you this question, and this has nothing to do with previewing the game. Do one, both, or none of these teams have new coaches next year?
Dallas and Washington?
Yeah. Do you think either one of these coaches get replaced at season's
end? I don't think so. Washington could make a case for it, but I don't think they will. And Dallas is actually, I think, happy with Schottenheimer. They need a new GM, but no, they won't move on from either one of them.
Okay, fair enough. I will take the Cowboys to cover. You agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's go to the middle game, the second of the 3, 4:30 p.m. As I said, on Netflix, the Detroit Lions, coming off that really tough loss to the Steelers at home. They go on the road, an NFC North matchup against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 7-8. They're out of the playoffs. The Lions are clinging to their playoff hopes. They need to win out, and they need the Packers to lose out. This Detroit Lions are spotting 6 points in this game. What's your take on this one?
Well, would it surprise you if I told you the Vikings are on a 3-game win streak? Well, I mean, it's Commanders, Cowboys, and Giants, but they're on a 3-game win streak right now. And the Vikings have a chance of finishing 500 for the year. Like, it's not impossible for them. And I think they've got something to fight for. Detroit's got a tough route to the playoffs because Green Bay and Chicago are probably going to win another game, and that either one of them wins a game, it eliminates them. And Detroit really needs to kind of show some pride after the Detroit Lions, the team, and their fans got punched in the face by the Steelers last week.
Do you call that a punch? Seriously, do you call that a punch?
He balled up a fist and swung at the guy's face.
I don't swung at him. I don't know. You're talking
a jab and punch.
You're talking you're talking Jake Paul, Mike Tyson punch, not necessarily the most recent Jake Paul fight where he actually did get punched. But neither here nor there. What was your take on the Lions' loss on last week on Sunday? Not DK Metcalf. Let's leave him out of this. What are your thoughts on that game?
I mean, it looked like Pittsburgh should have been up by a lot more, and Pittsburgh did everything they could to try to lose that game.
That's what they do.
And it's just it was there was some good football there, but it was a rough watch because with outside of the explosive, Pittsburgh had 3 45-yard touchdowns, the 45 yards or longer.
Yep.
and maybe the best catch I've ever seen, but definitely a top 3 catch of all time for a touchdown. I mean, I don't. Pittsburgh keeps confusing me because now this is 2 years in a row where I've thought that you need to use Warren more. Now they need to. Warren and Gainwell just need to touch the ball way more. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can hand the ball to those guys. You can throw it to those guys. You can direct snap it to them. And I don't understand why they don't see the ball more. It's been really confusing.
Gainwell is leading the team in receptions, so it's not like he's not seeing the ball. He is getting the football for sure. But they're spreading it around too. They're spreading it around. We'll get to the Steelers. Don't worry about it. I was just curious your take there. All right, so then we go to the nightcap. This is the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs, which you thought was going to be a huge AFC West tilt. The Chiefs both have lost both of their quarterbacks now to ACL injuries. I don't know who is quarterbacking that team on Sunday. I know they signed a guy off a practice squad to help fill out their depth chart. The Broncos are reeling, though, coming after a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Denver Broncos are spotting 13.5 points on the road in Arrowhead. I don't know, man. What do you think?
Well, first of all, your likely quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs is Shane Buechele.
Who?
Well, his dad, Steve Buechele, was a third baseman for the Texas Rangers in the 90s. He played at Texas. And then his other quarterback is Chris Oladukin. I'm not even gonna.
Oh yes, he was drafted by the Steelers
from South Dakota State.
Yes.
Oh well, you should definitely. You haven't been following his career.
Well, he didn't make the Steelers roster. He didn't make the Steelers roster as a rookie 7th round draft pick. He gets picked up by the Chiefs, who wins 2 Super Bowls, and I just always assumed he just stayed there. I don't know where he went after that.
It'd be pretty great to see another Steelers castaway quarterback go win a game, right? We've seen that a lot. But this is terrible. Obviously, I wonder if there's going to be. Is there going to be some backlash from the home crowd with signs or booing because the big announcement that the Kansas City Chiefs are leaving Missouri in 6 years? In 2031, they will have a $4 billion stadium in Kansas. For those of you who aren't aware of it, Kansas City is right on the border of Kansas and Missouri. The Chiefs Arrowhead Stadium, one of the 3 best stadiums in football, along with Seattle and New Orleans as far as home field advantage and noise.
Yeah.
Arrowhead's gonna be a domed indoor stadium in Kansas.
That's horrible.
Well,
I was going to bring this up anyways. I'm glad you did. What is the proximity? Do you know the proximity of where they want to build the new stadium compared to where Arrowhead is now? Like, what is the actual distance?
I'm going to go with not close, but it doesn't really matter because I've been to a game at Arrowhead. It's out there by itself. Okay. Like it's like that was one of the things like with the when the Chargers played in San Diego, like the stadium was like away from town. I'm not sure what they're going to do and how that's going to affect Missouri, but I think that it wouldn't be any further of a drive or worse than how it was to go to Arrowhead.
So is Kansas chipping in some tax dollars? Is that why they're leaving?
$4 billion.
They're paying for it.
$4 billion. Well, I think that's their contribution is $4 billion. The stadium's, obviously going to cost more than that nowadays.
And isn't there
they're doing a whole shopping facilities and all kinds of stuff, entertainment area.
Isn't this Kansas City with a dome? Like Cleveland's putting in a dome. Like, what are we doing? I know they won a Super Bowl, and that's probably why they're doing it. You see, I've talked to you about this so many times since we've been doing shows together. You are in favor of it, and I hate it.
I do not want the weather to affect a playoff game ever.
I understand that, but at the same time, football was not meant to be played indoors, in my opinion.
Well, football was made to be played where you could actually hit each other and tackle and, talk trash and spike the ball after you had a good play. But, that's not what we do these days. And this is, I get it if you want to call this soft, but there's 25 other things that are soft about football now that wasn't 20 years ago. That's more than it just being an indoor sport.
Do you think the Denver Broncos cover 13.5?
Yeah.
You do?
And they're a team that doesn't score that much, but yeah, this will, whether they want to or not. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how much you watched last week, but RJ Harvey's a dude.
Yeah.
And I think this is a broken Kansas City team that's going to be doing the very minimum out there. And a guy like RJ Harvey this could be a 200-yard game for RJ Harvey.
We shall see. So there you have the trio of games on Christmas Day. Gosh, what a horrible slate. So let's go to Saturday then, December 27th. This is where the NFL is redeeming themselves. Two big games. Start off on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. NFL Network has this game. Texans at the Chargers. The Texans are 10-5. The Chargers are 11-4. And based on what the Broncos do against the Chiefs, which we all assume is a win, the Chargers still have hope to maybe overcome the Denver Broncos and win the AFC West. They can definitely skyrocket up the playoff picture and the standings. And the Texans, well, they keep chugging along. You said it at the top of the show. And when you talked about week 16, no one thought that game against the Raiders was going to be as close as it was, yet they still pulled out the victory. What are your thoughts on this game?
I like it. This is also, it's interesting because outside of what the Chargers can do, the AFC playoff settings are kind of set. Now, the Chargers, they play two playoff teams the next 2 weeks. They play the Texans and the Broncos. If the Chargers lose both of those games, I mean, they could dump out of the playoffs even, but they could skyrocket to the number 2 seed, I believe. I don't think they can get the number 1 seed, but
right.
Of people we predict to win. But outside of the Chargers playing those two teams, there's no other games in the last 2 weeks of the season between AFC playoff teams. It's really the Chargers, and this is a huge slate for the Chargers, and I think that obviously Houston and Denver are both going to be highly motivated to win.
Yeah, and LA is giving just 2.5 points at home. Now we know that LA doesn't really give a lot of support to the Chargers, and we are very aware of that. And the Texans are a hot team coming in, but I do think the Chargers are better than maybe what the spread is indicating. Houston, I don't know if last week was an aberration or if maybe they were beating up on some bad teams prior to that. How do you see this game playing out, I guess is a good question.
Well, the Houston Texans are on a 7-game win streak, and that includes wins against the Jaguars and Bills, the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes.
True.
So I'm gonna give them credit. Also, I'm gonna say that it's Vegas. They probably something you don't expect from D'Amico Ryans, but it's probably them not being up for a game against what is a terrible team. And Ashton Gianti had a great game. Like that guy's kind of an alien. So I'm going to give the Houston Texans a pass on they fought and beat the Raiders, whatever it took. I think this is going to be a good game. I would actually take Houston in the points.
I would take the over for sure. The line set at 39.5. I know these two teams have decent defenses. That seems really low to me. I would take the over.
It seems low, but yeah, that would be risky to play with that one. That's probably want to stay away. That's probably want to just stay away from.
I got it. Let's go to the nightcap. The Baltimore Ravens are still clinging to a thread of hope. They have to win out. If they lose, the Pittsburgh Steelers win the AFC North, and the Steelers punch their ticket, likely as the 4 seed, into the AFC playoffs. The Green Bay Packers have to win. Now, Lamar Jackson's health in this game, as well as Jordan Love's health, is going to be a very hot topic as the week progresses. The Ravens 7-8 at Green Bay at Lambeau Field, 9-5-1. Green Bay spotting 2.5 points. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, I think that the health of Jordan Love is going to be a big deal because he did not finish the game last week, and I mean, they're already like barely competing games. They're on a 2-game losing streak to the Broncos and Bears. And I'm sure the Ravens still have something they're fighting for. They know there's a slim chance that they're going to make the playoffs, but even if they were eliminated, like they would love to be the spoiler here for the Packers.
Yeah, I don't know. Lamar Jackson's back injury, like it was bad enough that he couldn't just get an injection and go back in, like a pain numbing injection. So that's something to consider. If he plays, how limited is he going to play? I actually, I live in the state of Maryland. A lot of these fans, they've already they're like, this team's done. They're not going to win anything. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Packers win. Even if Malik Willis has to be the quarterback, I could see them winning this game.
Yeah, and we talked about earlier this show that even during their 5-game win streak, the Ravens weren't getting the home support.
No.
Even at that point, which is so strange for I mean, I get it. They went on a 4-game losing streak right before that, but strange for that town.
The Ravens fan base is like termites. They come out of the woodwork when they're playing well, and then they just hide when they're not. It's always been the MO for the Baltimore fan base. So it's still a young fan base, all things considered. So there you have Saturday, the Texans, Chargers, Ravens, Packers absolutely cleans up what's an ugly Thursday slate.
We did kind of dance around it, but leading up to the last week of the season, the Ravens do play the Steelers. So it does become intriguing if the Ravens win.
If the Ravens win and Pittsburgh has to lose. If Pittsburgh beats the Browns, they punch their ticket no matter what. All right, so let's go to the other primetime games. The Bears and 49ers are Sunday Night Football. This is in San Francisco or Santa Clara. The San Francisco 49ers coming off their Monday night win over the Colts. They are spotting the Bears 3 points in this one, and this should be pretty fun, and this could have some significance in the NFC playoff picture. I just think that both of these teams are 11-4. This is going to be a good one. What do you think?
Man, I love it. The 49ers ending their season playing the Bears and the Seahawks. And you got Chicago ending their season playing the 49ers and the Lions. NFC's got it just right to where they're all playing each other right here at the end. Again, might surprise people with all the time that Brock Purdy missed. The fact that their number one wide receiver has not played at all, Brandon Ayuk, or showed up for practice, or called his coach, or sent an email. San Francisco 49ers are actually in second place. They have the tiebreaker over the Rams right now. So they're actually in second place in the NFC West. Kind of crazy. But any of those three teams are set to, win the NFC West or win the NFC. Yeah. It's pretty crazy what's going on there in the NFC West of how they're beating each other up. And I think this is a big deal. The Bears can still not win and fall way out. They can't be eliminated. They're going to make the playoffs, but they would much rather be at home in Chicago than go on the road in the playoffs. And they need to hold off the Packers.
The 49ers are tough. I mean, I watched a good bit of the Monday night game, and Phillip Rivers, for all his limitations as a 44-year-old quarterback, he's still, in the first half, even in the early second half, he was putting them in position. There's a special teams turnover that led to an early score for the 49ers. 49ers offense looks like it's figuring it out. I just don't know about the defense. I don't know if it's good enough.
Yeah, so the 49ers on a 5-game win streak, but that's against the Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, Titans, and Colts. And in those, the last few weeks, they gave up 27 points to Phillip Rivers. They gave up 24 points to Cam Ward. Yeah, that's a little bit of a lot of points in the last 2 weeks. And that Titans game was actually at home. So, if those teams are scoring 24 and 27, you got to think the Bears are into the 30s. And I'm just not sure. And the Bears have too good of a defense for the 49ers to score 30 on them. I just don't see that. Also, the George Kittle injury, there was something going on there, and he was trying to work through it. I think he's going to be one of those guys that does everything he can to play out there, but he looks certainly like he's going to be limited. Whatever it was with his foot or ankle that was going on, didn't look good.
Dude can't stay healthy. Is it true that Fred Warner might be coming back this year?
There was a thing about, but they would have to make the Super Bowl, I think.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought he was done, but I heard someone say that. I was like, really? Fred Warner might come back? Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
I think it's very unlikely.
Got it. Let's go to Monday Night Football. The Rams go to Atlanta. This is a dud of all duds. The Rams are spotting 8.5 points coming off of that tough Thursday night loss to Seattle up there in the Great Northwest. It was a tough game, tough finish, and they're looking to rebound. Atlanta is done. I think that I would take the Rams, even though they're going across country to play in Atlanta. That's nothing they're not, used to. Take the Rams giving the points, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I'm okay with giving away the points. Man, what a hell of a game with that Rams and Seahawks. Couple of weird kind of calls and stuff like that, and that may have affected the game a little bit, but still great game between two good teams. They need to be playing again in the NFC Championship game. I want that same game again. That just looks like fun. But I agree with you. I don't think the Rams are going to have a problem going to Atlanta and winning. Having said that, the last time they went to the East Coast, they lost to the Carolina Panthers 31-28. So that does, not bode well for that. And then even when they beat the Ravens earlier this year, they only put up 17 points. So we'll see.
All right.
They lost to the Eagles earlier this year too at Philadelphia. So going to the East Coast hasn't been their favorite thing this year.
All right. So let's go to the rest of the slate, which there's not a lot of games outside of what we already talked about. There are some good games still to have. There are mainly two that I would say definitely still important games. A lot of significance both in the playoff picture, division races. Where do you want to start?
I mean, obviously, it's the huge game in Nashville with the Saints looking to win their 4th game in a row, which nobody would have seen coming earlier in the year. A 5-10 team on a 4-game win streak, or
Hell yeah.
if they win against the Titans, they'll be on a 4-game win streak. Pretty amazing stuff. It's good to have the best rookie quarterback in the country, even though Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart get all the publicity.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, is that not one of the 2 games?
We're not at the dud of the week yet. All right. You've skipped a couple segments.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you. Yeah, sure. Seattle at Carolina is a huge game. Carolina, and this is again Seattle coming off of an enormous win, kind of on the mini bye because it was a Thursday night game. But Seattle, huge win, so they're due for a letdown. But Seattle traveling across the country to the East Coast to play the Carolina Panthers, who, again, we just talked about, beat a West Coast team coming over there already this year. So Carolina right now in first place after they beat the Bucks. That is not finalized. They've still got to play each other again next week. So Carolina, this is a big game for them that they need to win.
Yeah. And this is, I still think it's crazy when you look at the playoff probabilities that ESPN has on the NFL, NFL.com. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers still have a higher playoff probability than the Panthers do at this juncture based on who they have left on their schedule.
Well, because the expectation is that Carolina will lose this week and then Tampa will win, and then Tampa Bay will have their own, they'll be at home for their, and have with their own destiny in their hands.
I think the other game that we want to bring up is Eagles at Bills. That's going to be a great game. Orchard Park. The Bills, Josh Allen got banged up in that game against Cleveland. I'm not sure what the official diagnosis was or is. The Eagles, they're continuing to win. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right when you watch them play. Still, they're winning football games. They've already clinched the NFC East and their spot in the playoffs. Buffalo's only giving 1.5 points at home. I don't know, man. The Bills stand up in these big games. If anything, there's letdowns and lulls in between. I would take the Bills. I don't know about you, but I would.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills at home with this. Josh Allen actually went into last week's game with, I think it was sore right foot is what they had on the injury report. So kind of not really surprised that he kind of banged that up and all. But this is a big game that the Bills need to win. Obviously, they've won the last 2 weeks against the Raiders and Commanders, but before that, they were on a 3-game losing streak against the Cowboys, Bears, and Chargers. Oh no, that was the Eagles. Sorry, my bad. I clicked on the wrong team there. But
Eagles, the Bills beat the Steelers at the end of November.
But huge game for both of them. Eagles already they have their division wrapped up. They're not worried about not winning their division, but the Bills still have a lot to play for.
All right, so we're going to get to the playoff picture in a second, but I want to ask you if there's any sneaky good matchups in this slate of games, even if it's just a storyline to watch. What do you have? Anything in particular?
I mean, I'll keep bringing it up because I think it has historical significance, but Myles Garrett is...
I was going to say the same thing.
I mean, he's going for the all-time record of sacks, and he's facing a 42-year-old quarterback who, gets rid of the ball quickly, but isn't necessarily easy to get to sack. So I'm sure Myles Garrett would like to go ahead and get that out of the way and then start padding that for next week.
Now, let me just run a scenario by you. Okay, let's assume that the Packers beat the Ravens, okay? Steelers lock up the division, lock up a playoff spot, and Mike Tomlin says, Rodgers, I'm resting you.
Sit down.
Do you know who's starting? Mason Rudolph.
Yep.
You'd have Mason Rudolph versus Myles Garrett in Cleveland. Just saying.
Just as long as he doesn't call Myles Garrett by his legal name, his first and middle name, right? Then it should be okay.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the Myles Garrett angle for sure because that's all the Browns are clinging to at this point. They want to see something from Shedeur Sanders, and they want Myles Garrett to break the record. And I think he will break the record, whether it's this week or next week. He only needs 1 sack, but he'll break the record. All right, let's take a look at the playoff picture here because this is honestly really, really intriguing to me in terms of how things can change, not so much as who's in and who's out, but in terms of seeding. So when you look at the AFC, the clinched a playoff spot, they already have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams have already locked up a playoff spot. Now, where they finish, though, who knows? Because you have the Chargers and Bills both at 11-4. The Jaguars are probably going to win the South, or if they haven't locked it up already. And the Patriots are still shooting for the number 1 seed if it's possible with the Broncos. Now, the Steelers, they have a 91% probability of getting into the playoffs. They're likely to win the AFC North, and the Texans are hanging on. The Colts and Ravens are still hanging on. But I want to ask you this question. How do you see these seedings playing out if you were to try and predict it?
I think they probably stay exactly like they are, is what I would probably guess. I do want to ask you, though, if you're the Chargers, do you want to have a home playoff game in the first round against the Buffalo Bills, or do you want to go on the road to play the Pittsburgh Steelers?
You would want to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because I mean, one, they don't have a home field advantage anyway,
right?
Barely, but like you for sure, and that becomes interesting. But it's there's gonna be, and I it's all so close that I don't think you can try to work out of how do we get to be the 5 seed. I mean, versus. But there's some dangerous teams from coming to 6 and 7. Whether it's the Bills and Texans, whether it's the Patriots could fall down there. Like it's pretty interesting.
Well, hold on a second.
Being the 2 seed may not be great.
Okay, I get it. You're not wrong. But 2 weeks ago, I would have agreed with you that the Steelers are the joke and everyone would want to play that team in Pittsburgh. They have improved. They are, if they continue to play this way, it's not going to be an easy game. Now, if I had to choose, if I got to pick which team comes to Pittsburgh, I want it to be the Chargers.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers match up much better as long as the Bills keep them as far away from Pittsburgh as possible. Josh Allen, that just is not a good matchup for the Steelers, the way that they run the ball. And it's not the Chargers don't, but I agree with you in the fact that I think that these things, this top 7 is going to stay the same, and you're going to see the Texans have to go to New England, which will be a fantastic football game.
I love that because obviously I think the Patriots are better, but I think with the young quarterback, I think a badass defense is, and I don't know. I mean, and Trayvon Henderson being hurt's terrible for them.
Yes,
terrible.
The Jaguars would host the Bills, which would be interesting, and then you'd have Chargers, Steelers. I think that's a pretty good first round.
You could see, and I said this last week, you could see all 3 road teams win. And I don't think you'd be crazy saying the Patriots are going to lose to the Texans without their best player, which Trayvon Henderson has been. I mean, Drake May's done great, but Trayvon Henderson has driven that offense. And to say that the Bills are going to beat the Jaguars and the Chargers who did beat the Steelers 25-10 a couple months ago
in LA, but go ahead.
Well, that's some pretty big home field advantage, 15 points.
I'm just saying, it's a cross-country trip. The Steelers aren't used to that, man. They're not used to that. They like to stay on the East Coast.
But I'm just saying, it would be interesting. You could actually see.
Sure, absolutely.
It's not going to surprise me if all 3 road teams win, and then one of those road teams knocks off the Broncos in the next round. And so it's all wild cards.
Yeah, when you think about it,
like I really can see. It's not going to surprise me if the Bills and Texans are playing each other in the AFC Championship game.
No, I agree 100%. Let's go to the NFC. The NFC, they have a lot of teams that have already everyone but one spot has been locked up, and that's between the Panthers and the Packers. Panthers, as we said, are clinging to the NFC South.
Lions are still in there with the Packers going on.
Oh, that's right. They are on the bubble still. I'm sorry. And so are the Buccaneers. So this is going to be interesting. Do you think the top 7 get in that's already considered the top 7, or do you think the Buccaneers and or Lions somehow find their way in?
The Buccaneers is kind of a 50-50 one because I think the Panthers have a pretty big uphill battle to try to beat the Seahawks this week. So I think the Buccaneers will hold their own, destiny in their hands, and they're going to play at home against the Panthers. So I could see that one. I could see the rest of it staying the same. But listen, if the Panthers beat the Rams earlier this week, if the Panthers beat the Seahawks, I think that opens the door. The 49ers or Rams, either one could still be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Rams play the Falcons and Cardinals. The Rams are not going to lose one of these last 2 games. And I think that they're a team you don't want to have the week of rest.
Nope. Not with Matthew Stafford.
I think the biggest team here that you don't want to be the 1 seed, and it's not because of the home field. It's because you don't want Matt Stafford to have like a full week of rest, getting extra healthy for the playoffs, and all this stuff. Kind of them working it out.
See, unlike in the AFC where you had the Denver Broncos who play the Chiefs this week, and there's a lot on the line there, but the Chiefs are awful. The NFC, who knows what this is going to look like by the time Week 18 is done and this is solidified. So I don't even want to talk about potential matchups because I think that by the time we even talk next week, it's going to be vastly different.
There's a real route, a pretty easy route right now to the Bears being the 7 seed. Like,
yeah.
And possibly going on the road to play the Packers or vice versa. I mean, right now the Packers would go on the road to Chicago to play the Bears.
That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, let's do the dud of the week. This is where Jeff tries to.
What's one thing I want to say? The thing. No disrespect for the Steelers. I want to say on the other side, people would love to be the 5 seed and go to Carolina or Tampa Bay with the way those two teams are playing right now. And I would say the same thing with the 49ers.
That's always been the case.
Do you want to be the 2 seed and host the Rams or the Packers, or do you want to be the 5 seed and go to Carolina?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the truth. But it's always been this way. Ever since they said division winners get a home playoff game, you want the 4th seed.
Which I agree with. We talked about this last year.
Yeah.
You design your team to win your division first. You play, 6 games against those people. I do think that you should be placed for that.
All right, dud of the week time. I try to pick the cheapest tickets of the week. Let's get this show on the road, and let's start off with your team, Saints at Titans. I've got that as a bottom 3. Am I right?
It's a great guess, and you are wrong.
I'm wrong.
It's a $41 ticket. It's
wow.
not there.
Okay, second guess. I've got Buccaneers Dolphins.
Also a good guess, but not even close. That's an $87 cheapest ticket. Not even close.
Shnikes. All right, I got to redeem myself here, and I'm trying to. Jaguars Colts.
The Jaguars at the Colts is a $60 ticket. 62.
Oh my gosh, I got skunked. No. What are the lowest 3?
So Jets. Your number 3, you just want to keep saying teams. Yeah, your third one is the Patriots at New York Jets. The Jets are a complete dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I hate it for Aaron Glenn, but there's a route to him not having a job next year. That sucks. Number 2 cheapest ticket. The Atlanta Falcons fans do not want to see the Los Angeles Rams destroy their little team. So that's a $33 ticket. And then I can't believe you didn't get this one, but your cheapest ticket of the week at $11 per ticket, Arizona Cardinals at Cincinnati Bengals. Which is why would you not want to go and support Joe Burrow after everything's going on? You think you'd want to have some sort of home field advantage, at least just because you don't want him to. He's not going to request a trade or force a trade, but there's rumors of it. So why wouldn't you show up to make him feel welcome?
$11
for a Bengals Sunday, 12 o'clock Central Time home game.
Family's in town for the holidays. Let's go see a game. It's $11 a ticket. What the hell?
Classic team that's been there forever. You would think people would be visiting Cincinnati and going, but nope.
I don't think anyone volunteers to go to Cincinnati. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. All right, man. This has been a great show. I wish you nothing but the best this holiday season. Do you guys still have podcasts coming up on the Dome Patrol? What's going on there?
We do. Have a Merry Christmas to you and your family too. You can find us on at Dome Patrol PCast on X. You can find me at Wesley13. You can find us on all your streaming platforms. Jeff, you gonna do some brisket cooking on your Smoky Joe? That you're gonna be in the backyard doing? Is it too cold?
No, I'll be doing that later in January when my family visits around Martin Luther King weekend. That's when my family comes to town. I'll be doing a big turkey on the grill that week. But other than that, I'll be live tweeting the gift wrapping. You can find that at the unwrapping, I should say. So you can find that live tweeting at J Hartman, HARTMAN_PIT. Don't want to miss that. And if you want any of my Steelers coverage at Steel Curtain Network, anywhere you get your podcast, or steelcurtainnetwork.com. But Wesley, man, enjoy the holidays. We'll be talking next week. Take it easy.
Sir, have a Merry Christmas.